Hey, it's Empress Rose, and welcome to our collective tarot reading. I was going to say welcome back. Most of you guys are returning, but if you're new, welcome. Here it is. So I'm going to be debuting a new deck today. I'm very excited about it. I'll tell you the story once we get there. But first, we're going to start off with some oracle cards, Moonology, our old standby. Yeah, it's a general reading, so we're going to take what works, leave what doesn't. Okay. All right, anything else from Moonology? Okay, all right. I put back a big stack and then I was like, okay, I'll accept this, but it's also more than a few. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. So, well, it's the full moon. So the bigger picture is visible now. The bigger picture, it will be visible. Yeah, you've reached a goal, and I think it wants you to look around. And in the grand scheme of things, you may be in a moment in a larger storyline. But that moment is, I just feel like the moment is big, but it's bigger still. But you're seeing a complete picture of one picture, right? You're in a museum and you see a painting. It's one of those huge ones that takes up a massive wall. You're seeing this painting, but it's still in a museum. And like, let's say it's the Guggenheim, so it's like an actual work of art itself. But you're seeing the full picture, and it's in a bigger picture. And it's almost like you get a vision of it. Like you realize that you are seeing something big, a large completion of something. I'm seeing like I don't know how big it is, but like a pink and red Rothko. And you're seeing it, but there's also this knowledge that it's in a much larger place. That is also a bigger picture. So see the big picture, look at the big picture, but I think you can look at the big picture because the big picture is in front of you and you can see it. And then also there's a much bigger picture. So, okay. And then what else do we have here? What do you need to release? Waning moon. Okay. We're just settling in for the night. Oh, look at these. These are waning moon and then a new moon. So we're settling in for the night, settling in for the winter, perhaps. And it's like safe to let some things go. Like you've arrived here in front of this Rothko painting. Um, it's safe. It's safe to let things go from beforehand. You can, like, you had to find parking. You had to, there was traffic, there was parking, and now you're here. And I think look at the bigger picture and what do you need to release? There's a whole sense of like, you're here now. So everything that got you here, we can like make ourselves feel grateful for that and we can accept it and we can do all that, but you are here, and you made it here today. So you can let go of the energy that was required or brought into the equation for you to get here. You can let go of that energy. And it's okay now. You're not in traffic anymore. You're not trying to find a parking spot anymore. You're here in the museum, so enjoy it. So you can release some things from the past. It's okay to do so. You don't need that energy, right? Sometimes we do need that energy in traffic. We do need to be like hyper alert and very aware and looking for a place to park and all. Like we need that awareness. But right now, maybe there's a moment here where you don't. So make sure that you're letting go of something, letting go of that past energy. And then we have your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. So our mirror goat is here. So there is a bigger picture, but the parts of that bigger picture that you can't see or can't see right now, you've been working towards it. The work you've put in is, maybe there's a sense here in needing to release the past work or the past, right? The work you've put into getting someplace is worthwhile. Like I was just saying about the traffic, right? Like, yeah, maybe you got a little flustered and got a little whatever on your way to where you're going. Um, but that work that you put in to get there, to find the parking, to take the traffic, to look up the traffic, and it's all paying off. It's all and now make sure that you're here when you get there. So it also seems like you might be in sort of this work mode a little bit, and also the work that you have already put in, um, whatever energy it has, or whatever hasn't worked out, setting an intention to let that go, to release that. Maybe you put a lot of work into something for a very long time and it's not going to pan out into anything. So it's just like having to let that go. But know that the work wasn't in vain. The work does get you someplace. The work does create something else. I think there's also this sense of, look at the bigger picture, I think can be, like I felt a sense of disappointment when I saw it. It was sort of like, oh, okay, it's time to look at the bigger picture. Not these details, not these frustrations, not the work we've done here and the work we've done there, but look at the bigger picture. It all comes together. It is all coming together. It has the potential to all come together. So this hard work and this energy that's been generated that needs to be released and let go of, and it could be that you've put work into something, it's paying off. I better get moving here so we can get to the tarot. You put work into something, it is paying off, but like, don't be overly focused on the work. Like, right, I'm doing this and we're heading into this eclipse, and it's a lot of rest energy, letting energies kind of flow. So it's okay to let go of a goal, let go of a timeline. It's okay to like let go of a timeline or something like that, because you are making progress. Things are working out. They are paying off. If you have put a strict timeline on yourself or a strict goal or something like that, you may be disappointed that you didn't reach that goal, but now I'm all excited because I'm like, oh, I get it. You're disappointed that you didn't reach some sort of goal, some sort of timeline, something like that. You didn't maybe get there, but you did make a lot of progress. And you need to sort of let go of, for some of you, it'll be letting go of a timeline or a larger goal. Okay, there we've got that one from Dreamscape Oracle. Okay, we just have one from Dreamscape Oracle. All right, and what is the one? The light. Okay. Spotlight. It's got star card energy. The light. I knew I kept the book out for a reason. Now I want to read it for this one. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen the light for some time, and look, here we are. The goddess of the day holds her arms up to the light of the sun. She gives reverence to the life-sustaining rays which bring heat and light. The sun sets the world ablaze, illuminating every part of every corner. Nothing escapes the fire. She brings happiness and illumination to the land. Wake up. So it's like the sun card. It's that both like illuminate, like, oh, you see now. You see the big picture. You see something now. Just sort of like that energy I just had with the like, I get it. And also there's happiness involved in that clarity. It is time to get to work. Begin putting your desires into motion. You can achieve anything you set your heart to in this light. Okay, your hard work is paying off. You might feel exposed by the brightness. It's all right. Let the anxiety pass. Ooh, what do you need to release? The anxiety. Everything is as it should be, given to the desires of the light and grow. Praise the day, you are on the right path. Beautiful. Yeah, and then keeping an eye on that big picture. Maybe you do get like sort of a more cohesive big picture thing. Jax, paying attention to something I can't see. So maybe it is like that big picture and getting the vision for the big picture. You can accomplish it, you can achieve it, be happy, release the anxiety. Fascinating how that card just sort of related to all the other ones on the table. Okay, let's see if the crows have anything additional to say. You know what? I'm going to take one crow because I really want to get to the tarot. Identity. Okay. Who you are. Knowing who you are. Seeing who you are. So identity, but there's also like a little bit of a heart here. A Rorschach blotch. You know, as far as like looking at those and seeing, and that being revealing of like who we are and how we're thinking about things and how we view the world. It's actually a pretty complicated card. It's reminding me of like another card from another deck, like what's triggering you. But that's not it. This is about who are you and knowing who you are and taking a good look at who you are, maybe your skills, your dreams, your assets, and your debts. Who are you? And seeing something really clearly. Okay, now it's time for the Tiger Breathing Bear deck. This is very exciting. I was at work and this man walked in. He had a box in his hand. I knew immediately what that box was. And so I just kind of was like, I've got to get over and talk to this man. And finally I was like, what's in the box? It's a tarot box. It's a tarot book, isn't it? I was just so excited. Anyway, and then I also knew, because I'd had a tarot reading, of course, it has to all be self-referential. I had a tarot reading that was like, there's somebody that's going to come into work that's going to rock your world. So anyway, it turns out that was a box he had just purchased, and we played around a lot with those cards. And then it turns out he's actually an artist, does not live in my city, but was visiting, and has done a tarot deck, his own tarot deck. And his art studio is a converted 1970s Volkswagen bus. So these were all created in the bus. And he does take some liberties. So anyway, I've played with it a little bit. It just started speaking immediately. And so I was just really excited to play with it here. So it was a very, very exciting. He sent this to me later. It was so cool. So I'm very excited to debut on my channel, Tiger Breathing Bears deck. His name is Squeak, the artist. So, all right, these are all shuffled, and I don't know what we're about to uncover here, what we're about to open up. Of course, from the bottom of the deck, we have Fool. Yeah, we're setting out on a journey. Look at that, he's hitchhiking. Come what may. I'm available for an adventure. I'm available to go somewhere. We're not here anymore. This place sucks ass. And I want to go. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go someplace new adventure. I've got my bag. It's not well packed, but we'll pack it once the thing comes in, once my ride comes. Anyway, yeah, up for a new adventure. This, of course, has to be self-referential. So up for a new adventure. Very, very cool. All right. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Okay. So, in the recent past, we have mostly fire and flowers here. And so fire is wands and flowers are cups. So passion and relationship and emotion, mostly in that realm. And then we have two major arcana here. We have 7, 8, 9, 2 fours. And then we have this like two major arcana, and I can't remember what this one is. Because remember I said you took liberties. So we have a black hole here, which is fascinating. And that's really fascinating. Oh, wow. Okay. Let us begin. Okay. Begin of fire. This is really cool. So I'm sure it's not just about this deck, but I think it's also going to be about everything in our collective. So begin of fire. So this is what we would call Page of Wands. But it's the beginning of a passionate, creative idea. This has already happened. You've already had this idea. It already entered your mind. It could be the beginning of a spiritual path. We have a trident here referencing like Neptune, but it's matches. Oh my gosh. This is so cool, you guys. Look at it. It's a matchstick trident. What? Yeah, that's exactly the sensation of the card, though, is like, what? What is this new idea? A matchstick trident? How does that even work in the water? And then we've got a crystal ball and some beads. Yeah, we're beginning some sort of spiritual sacred journey, just starting out. But we've already started out. We've already begun something. Right? And the new moon in Capricorn is talking about your hard work is paying off. You've already done something. You've already started something. The beginner of fire. So cool. So this is about something we've already started. Creative, spiritual, passion, something like that. And then here we end up, and the current situation is 4 of flowers. So that's 4 of cups. 4 of flowers. So he's remembering better flowers. Like, he's got a flower in his hand, but there have been better flowers. There are better flowers. He can imagine, maybe he's imagining better flowers. This flower sucks. But again, we have this sort of reference to like a spiritual journey and sort of this memory of like, it's just this disappointment with what is. That's what I'm seeing here. It's a disappointment with what is. A visualizing of what you want, but in your hand, what isn't that. It's not as great as you imagined it would be. Right? Like a lot of like women like flowers. They like to be purchased flowers, bought flowers. This is not a secret. This is not a secret. And yet so many men do not do that, and maybe even brag about not doing that. And then after like lots of discussion and argument, maybe they'll buy one gas station rose, right? On February 15th because it's 50% off. And it's just, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what you had in mind. That's not what you're talking about. So there's like some sort of reality not measuring up to the imagination or the desire. And the desire, it leaves the desire still there. The desire is still active because it has not been fulfilled by the reality that we have. And there's something about this like when you, about what I saw before here is what do you need to release? Your hard work is paying off. There's also something about having lobbied for something or worked towards something and then finally getting it, and it's just like, that's it. That's what I worked for. That's what all of these discussions were about. They resulted in one limp gas station carnation the day after Valentine's Day. That's what this all of this work happen to be. So I think there's a sense of needing to release perhaps even expectations, or, well, no, or the person who got you the carnation, which is a true story, by the way, and they have been released. And so it's just like, this was not worth it. And so that sense, but look at the bigger picture. It's a step. It's not the whole thing. So maybe you're like, oh, we're gonna go up this golden staircase. This is so cool. And what we're talking about here, what this card is triggering for me, is it's one step. It's not the whole staircase. So look at the whole staircase. This is just one step. So don't think this is all there is. This isn't all there is, okay? There's more. Okay, your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. 9 of Fire. Burnout. Yeah, especially like if the rewards aren't matching the effort, right? So we're talking about some hard work. We're talking about work you've put into something, and the reward just is not matching the effort. You thought it was going to be like this, and what you're getting is this little piddly amount. And so I think that you're worried about not about both being harmed or burnt or burnout. I almost see like also this fear of like becoming old with nothing to show for it. And like lacking resources. I have to go check on Jack. He's making some weird sounds. All right, he was trying to open some blinds so he could look out the window. So 9 of Fire. We have a couple completely burnt matchsticks. We have a couple more on the way. I think there's a fear of burnout here, or of being too tired, or of not being able to. It's just all like, just there's nothing left. And I think that's a fear, probably not a hope, but there's just nothing left here. You know, we go to 10 of Fire, but we're burnt out at 9 of Fire. So there might be a real fear of burnout, of having to give up on something before you reach the end, which is interesting because 9 of Fire usually gives me the opposite vibe of like, you're tired, but you have to keep going. But this is like having to quit before you reach the finish line, because there's just not enough here, and you can't hold on to what you have. What's at issue here is 4 of Fire. There's no leveling up. There's no promotion. This is just all about sort of this like failed goal, or what feels like a failed goal. If this is something you wanted, it's not panning out the way you wanted it to. And there's not a celebration, there's not a commitment, there's not, gosh, we start so excited, ready for this new adventure and whatever comes your way. But there's this new adventure that was so exciting, and it might have been a new art project, a new religion, a new belief system, and it's just you're finding there's no way for you to commit to this. There's no way for you to level up here. There's no place for you to go here. There's nothing. It's like there's nothing here for you. There's nothing to celebrate. This is not turning out the way you wanted it to. Whew, no wonder I felt like, so I was like, look at the bigger picture. It can't be that message. It is. I was like, I don't want that message. I don't want that message for us. We deserve better. But we've all put in our hard work, but that's so far, but we'll see where we go. And then in the environment, we have the black hole. I don't know what major arcana, tiger breathing bear had in mind, which this is supposed to be, because he didn't number them. But yeah, your environment looks like a black hole. Like, I feel like there's an echo coming back of like, hello, hello, hello. I've put in work. Is there anything coming back? Back. No, it's a black hole. It's an abyss. What is going on? Where is your environment? There almost isn't one. It's like, yeah, just pouring energy into this black hole of, and it's just devouring it. But what's interesting is that I a couple months ago I was doing some energy work with a friend, and we were doing it together. It was so cool, and it just kind of is so much more effective together than it is separately. But the vision I had of her was that she was a black hole. And right now she was absorbing things. And then later, in some other universe, all of these stars are getting born back over here. But it's taking some time. It's like the black hole is some big digestive process, right? And the mouth is like, I just keep taking stuff in. I don't know what's going on. And then let's imagine that we poop stars. And so then some, it goes through some sort of process, and then like way over there, we've got stars coming out the other side of the digestive process, right? And so we're really excited to start this. This feels really good. And they're like, where is it all going? I don't know. It's like the mouth doesn't know what this is such a bad metaphor because you have to completely imagine a different digestive tract. So, but the point is like the environment seems to be a black hole. It's just taking in your energy and not giving you anything back, taking it all in and not giving it back. And this, of course, feels very disappointing. You're like, I thought that this was going to work. I thought that people were going to love my work, and I can't actually get people to even put eyeballs on it. Like I thought, I was going to be able to get a bunch of clients, and I don't see where they are. No one even wants to talk about this. So, speaking of mouth, we have right next to each other the mouth and the black hole. Just the universe just seems hungry for whatever you're offering and doesn't seem to be giving it anything back. Seem being the operative word there. And it could be not just the universe, but this community or this relationship and so then your to-do list is 7 of arrows. So arrows, I just think like the air, the sword suit, it's just like weapons. How you get what you want, either through words or stated intentions or arrows so how do you get what you want? Sneaky. You got to be a little sneaky, a little clever. It's interesting, this arrow has come out of his mouth, so these words, it's like this definitely has instruction vibes. So while somebody else is speaking or something, you're taking the messages to use someplace else. I think in this situation, you are the fox. Since we're talking about what your to-do list is, you are the fox. You are here to outsmart, but you're using the smart. So you're using like intelligence and words and intellectual property, like from other people, but not illegally. And you are using it for your own, you're taking something away. You're not, there's a real David and Goliath vibe here too. So we have like Goliath is like, let's say Goliath was an archer, and Goliath is, yeah, you do it this way. Giving you tools actually. And then you're collecting the arrows he misses you with. And you're like, and I'm going to bring these back to my army and to my people, and we're gonna redistribute that. Thank you for the arrows. I appreciate it. You know, as long as none of them hit, we can appreciate these arrows. And so you're using some sort of information that somebody else has, is giving you, and maybe you're in a battle with them, maybe you're having some difficulty, but these arrows are all very useful keys of information that you're going to use in your own way, not in the way that it's intended. So you're taking some sort of information, and you're being more clever. This other entity is being really direct, and but you take the same information, but they're missing with it, and you are taking that same information, but you're not going to engage with this. This is not your battle. This is not who you want to fight with. You're not fighting Goliath right now. You're actually like going and creating an armory of other ideas over here. So it is ideas. You're using somebody's ideas. You're being sneaky with your ideas. You're not being directly confrontational, because it's not a battle you can really win if you directly confront. Like it's David and Goliath. So you're being more clever than this. I mean, Goliath is literally a black hole of the whole universe. And so and then I don't think you're speaking. You're being sneaky about something. So you're not like saying, oh, thank you, Goliath. I'm going to take these arrows and we're going to go arm my army. So thanks for shooting all these arrows at me. No, you're going to be like, oh no. Quietly you work. So that's what I'm seeing here as the advice, is to keep working, but do it very quietly and secretively and clever. Be clever about this. Do not be direct, be indirect about something. I don't normally like advocate for secrecy or anything like that. I love open communication. The opener, the better, for the most part, as long as everyone can be tactful and kind. But this is a different tactic. So maybe that's it too, like being more tactical than not being obvious, and being tactical. So and then 8 of flowers. This is interesting. So it's 8 of cups. Imperial IPA, and then we have Ego IPA, which I think has to do with this identity thing. Who are you? And there's something coming in here. Oh, it's Imp. Wow, the ego is coming in. Who you are. I think your identity is... Hey, Jack. I think, we have this identity card, and the ego isn't bad. It's just who we think we are, how we define ourselves, how we say who we are and who we think we are. And there's something coming in here to kind of disrupt. It's a disruptive presence. What we want out of life, what we actually want versus what we've gotten. We've gotten all this like, yeah, okay. So we've collected like this whole collection of Imp IPA, right? Of Trickster IPA, Tricky IPA. And we've got the Trickster here with the fox too. So there might be some tricky energy afoot. And then we've got this like self-definition, who you are, and it's not any of this, it turns out. Once you really start looking at who you are, it may not be this. So the 8 of Cups is typically like, not this, moving on. This is kind of not this isn't who I am anymore. And we're getting rid of this minor stuff. We're bringing in something much better, much clearer, much more potent than what we've been working with before. So it's definitely, 8 of Flowers is going to be a definite shift in energy coming forward. And the clarity you're getting in who you are and where you need to go from here is very, that clarity in a way is going to like wipe out, it's going to render irrelevant what you've built so far. Not irrelevant. But the thing of the Eight of Flowers is, look at the bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. And I think this bigger picture is coming in to really challenge what's already here. This vision, this bigger picture of who you are in the grand scheme of things is challenging what you've already done. Not necessarily making it irrelevant, because we're being told this is not irrelevant. What you've done so far is not irrelevant. It's laid groundwork. But it hasn't been satisfying. Both of these cards are about dissatisfaction with the status quo. And this is action coming in to destroy, not destroy, but just to shift the status quo. Because you're not happy with the status quo with the situation right now. Not happy. So big picture, though, is that we're on a much bigger journey, right? A much bigger journey. And this is literally kind of a sub-story about the beginning of that journey. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to Tiger Breathing Bear's Instagram. It's Tiger Breathing Bear. But I'll put it in the notes here. And then let's wrap up with something. I always do these ones at the beginning, but today I wanted the Dream Reaver's Oracle at the end. Well, that was very exciting. I love that. I think there's a time in my life when I wouldn't have loved starting, doing a deck raw, fresh in front of this camera situation, but I really enjoyed this. As soon as I saw it and started going through, I was like, oh no, this is going to be so much more fun and dynamic if I do this on the thing. So, when weavers call your heart, this is about love, about falling in love, about loyalty, about love. And then we got 3. Oh, 4 more. Oh shit, I knew this one was going to come up. As many of you know, I've been dealing with it. My 18-year-old niece was murdered, and this was the card I drew the day I found out. I'm not saying that I had drawn that card many times. Why did I say that? I've drawn that card many times, and that's not what it was about. But this, coupled with a couple other cards, was, just like let it ride out, let it see. So time to say goodbye. And maybe this is something, right? We already have this release card. Oh, maybe I should take that out. And I'm going to leave that in. You guys know how to like handle these cards, right? This card has been very minor, it's gone from minor to major, but it triggered a memory for me for sure. And maybe that's what I need to release, is that memory of that card, of just like, maybe it's not going to mean that every time. Just a little triggering now. So when you feel the magic sing, so we have all these magic, if the wild one comes with sticks, that's what you're watching me deal with right now, is this like self-doubt. And so this can be this like drum beat of, our shitty internal mantra. So we're going to pull a good mantra from the Animal Oracle. So that drum beat we have of like, you're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And especially if our environment looks like a big black hole and there's like nothing out there. That can definitely easily arise when something hasn't worked out the way we expected it to work out. We can often blame ourselves or feel like we aren't good enough. And sometimes there are tweaks and things that we can do. But there's 2 cards here about letting something go. And then we have when the weavers share their magic tea. This is inspired action. Being inspired while also inspiring others. So very inspired idea coming in here. And maybe this is a little bit of what's coming in, because this represents often, like, often it's the moon. It's this, oh, I know what I need. You know, you're like sitting there at the table crafting, doing something, and you're like, no, I know what's missing. And then you go get it. That's sort of what Eight of Cups can sometimes be. And it looks like to me that there's some inspiration here of like, oh, I know what I need. I know what this needs. I know what to do next. And it's similar to this. Like when you get that inspiration, take the action. Don't just write it down and do it later. You know, if you can, take that action. If you're stuck in the middle of traffic, you can't. But take action when you feel that inspiration. You're going to be inspired and act on it. And then something you love. At this time to say goodbye, maybe letting go of an idea. All right, here we go. The animal spirit oracle. For our last, maybe a new mantra to replace, you know, when the wild ones come with sticks and bang their stupid ideas that just repeat through our head. Otter spirit, you are never alone. Okay, look at this. 2 hearts here. And it's when it's time to say goodbye. It's like maybe you're having to let go of someone or something, but there are people here. There are people here that love you and care about you. And then we have no, you guys, we have giraffe spirit. See the big picture. Look at the big picture. Okay. Overall, you may have to let a project go, let something go, release something, but you are very loved. Look at the overall big picture. Have you made progress? Yes, maybe this goal wasn't reached. Maybe whatever specific thing you wanted isn't going to happen, but you have made progress. You have made progress. And look at the bigger picture. Don't get bogged down in these little details and these little bothersome things. Look at the bigger picture overall. And then if this is about love and a relationship, it's like, look at the overall gist of the relationship. Don't get bogged down in those details. Gottman Institute calls it like negative sentiment override. Well, you're going to have to let some things go if you're going to be in a relationship with literally anybody. You got to let some things go. So looking at the overall big picture, how's this working? How's this look? Okay, so hopefully this was helpful for you. This is so fun for me to deal with this, work with this deck, this totally new surprise deck. So beautiful and just so dynamic too, and new messages, and it was so cool. So anyway, thank you for this tiger breathing bear deck. Yeah, thank you, Squeak. All right, see you guys later. Bye.